This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 18th. We'll call the Wright County Board of Commissioners to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So does anybody know, did we make a record cold yet today? It's got to be darn close. Not even close? I don't even know what the record is, but I know my thermometer said 25 below it. I don't know what the wind chill was, but darn cold. All right, first order of business is we have minutes from February 4th and February 11th. We can approve those three sets of minutes collectively or individually. I'll stand for motions or modifications.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Shane, second by Commissioner Holland to approve the minutes collectively.
Yes.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right. Minutes are approved 4-1. All right. Next would be the approval of the agenda for today. Is there anyone that would like to have it, or is there any additions to today's agenda?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I would like to pull,
This is the agenda, not the
Oh.
consent.
okay. Well, is it part of appealing, or
The next,
the
if
agenda
you want to pull
together.
something off the consent agenda, that would
Okay.
be the next item.
that would be fine?
Yep. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
all right.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Moyna, second by Commissioner Holland to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Motion passes unanimous. Next, today's consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove anything from today's consent agenda for further discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to remove C, number 2, just that first half, that first recommendation. And we can put it under items for consideration, I guess C, maybe, for the carry forward. Please.
So it's a motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Dietrich with the removal of C1.
Mr. Chair, I think it was C2.
C2.
Or C, I'm sorry, C2.
C2.
I'm sorry, C2, with referring it down to items for consideration. All right. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
All right, the second by Commissioner Moyna. Any discussion? We're just discussing whether it should or should not be pulled. Hearing no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right.
Aye.
And motion passes on a 3-2. All right. Next would be to move on to timed agenda items. First one up is Mr. Mattice stepping in for Ms. O'Hare. The approve and adopt the resolution to implement the Mississippi River St. Cloud Comprehensive Watershed Management Plan.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. There's three actions in front of you today. The first one being to approve and adopt a resolution to implement the Mississippi River to St. Cloud Comprehensive Water Management Plan. That then would provide you with the next action was to do the JPA to implement that plan. And then the other resolution is to then remove the Water Management Task Force and to delegate the administration of the water management plans to the SWCD. The other counties involved in this have all taken that action to this point, so we're just 1 week behind them, actually.
All right. Any questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to delegate administration and implementation of the comprehensive watershed management plans.
All right, motion by Commissioner Dietrich.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Moyna. Any further discussion? Hearing none, it is a resolution vote. Commissioner Moyna?
Aye.
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 Resolution passes unanimous. Thank you.
Do we have to do 2 resolutions?
We have
Is
to
that-
do,
It's
Yep.
Three
two
motions.
resolutions and approval of a signature.
So I will also approve and adopt the resolution to implement the Mississippi River St. Cloud Comprehensive Watershed Management Plan.
All
I'll
right.
second that.
So, motion by Commissioner Dietrich, second by Commissioner Moyna. Any other discussion? Resolution, Commissioner Shane?
Aye.
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 Resolution passes unanimously. Now we just need the JPA agreement.
Yep, authorization of signatures on such.
I'll make a motion to approve the authorized signatures on the joint powers agreement.
I'll second
All
that.
right, motion by Commissioner Moyna, second by Commissioner Holland. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes unanimous. Thank you. All right. I know I saw Captain Ferguson out there somewhere. There we go. And it looks like Chief is making his way up here as well. All right.
All right, good morning, Mr. Chair, Board. Looking to set a date for the 911 committee, the 911 Planning Committee. We last met in 2022 and laid out phases for some upgrades within the main communication center in the LEC and also the backup center out at the Wright County Training Center. We have had at least 4 chairs turnover for members of that committee, so I'd like to catch the new members up, including the 2 commissioners, to where we're at and where we've been and where we're going. So just looking to set a date for that.
All right. So that would be Commissioner Moyna, Commissioner Dietrich that sit on the 911 committee. I guess I will leave it out there. Do you guys had some suggested dates?
I did not have a suggested date. I would defer to the commissioners. Everybody else on the committee is staff and should be here and available.
What's your time frame you thinking? I guess, are you looking sometime in the next 2 weeks or the next 30 days? I guess I'll help move it along.
Then the next 30 days, we find there are some supplemental funds that need to be spent by June of this year. That would be the only time constraint. Otherwise, it's just a process that's been moving along.
I would ask that we maybe move to that first week in March, first or second week, if that's okay.
Yeah, if we do a Thursday, I can guarantee I'm free, so.
Okay.
Thursday, March 6th then, looks like.
That would work.
Sounds good.
I'm wide open.
All right. So, I don't even know that we necessarily have to take a motion on this because it's just a committee assignment, so it's just informational and getting the date set.
Yeah, informational, Mr. Chair. We can schedule it.
Weekends.
I do have one appointment on the calendar. I would probably recommend starting at 10:30 if that works.
Yeah, I think we can figure out the time frame between the 3 of us, I think, that day, right?
Sounds great.
Yeah, that works.
All right, very good. Then with that, we'll just kind of let you guys figure this out. And now Chief's here.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. So we continue to kind of make progress towards our body-worn camera implementation along with Oracle. Statute requires us to schedule a public meeting for comment and input related to body cameras since we don't have one currently. Looking to schedule that with board recommendations. I think it's 30 days. That puts us to about April 1st, I believe, the first available board meeting, at least 30 days or 30 days past, so.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, this hearing does have to coincide with a regularly scheduled board meeting, so April 1st would suffice.
I'd say that'd probably be,
Or March 18th?
Well, I guess I wasn't aware of the 30-day requirement.
Oh,
We're only 28 days out from then.
I'm good with April 1st.
yep.
I think I am, but I might be in Washington, but.
I thought the 30 days was part of the amount of notice for a public hearing, but if it's not 30 days, then,
More is better.
okay.
I agree.
All right, I would suggest we just set it for 9:30 on April 1st during the county board meeting would be my recommendation if anyone wants to make a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
All right, motion by Commissioner Shane,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Holland to set a public hearing in regards to body cameras on April 1st at 9:30 during the county board meeting. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are moving along quite well here. All right, now moving on to items for consideration. We have the approve the resolution in support of the Wright Technical Center bonding request.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this was requested by the Wright Technical Center, looking to just give them a formal resolution in support of their bonding request as it goes through the legislature, trying to just get this going. I don't know if the bill's been introduced yet in support of them, but at least trying to be in front of it as much as we can on our side.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve that. I hope that there's some bonding happening this year, but. Yeah. Yeah, I will make a motion to approve that.
I'll
All
second.
right, motion by Commissioner Holland, second by Commissioner Shane to approve the resolution in support of the Wright Technical Center bonding request. Any discussion? Hearing none. All right, resolution vote, I'll vote aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
All right, resolution passes unanimous. All right. Next, we have changes to the Commissioner Handbook. They're all included in there, so I guess looking to get those formally adopted.
I'll make oh, wait, no. I'll make a motion to approve those.
Yep, it's largely discussions that came out of the workshop the other week.
So I would second that. I just would like to maybe just add a little bit if I possibly could, because that one, I would just like to have something in there with anything that violates the procedure, and any fees that are accrued, that they be deducted from the person's expense report to protect our tax-paying citizens from, obviously, we have legal counsel that we can rely on.
I'll make a motion with that amendment then.
Do you want to see actualized language, or are you okay with making the modification to the policy on the fly? And that's just the only piece that I want to, in administration, I'm going to defer over to you, because what you have in here is kind of a good framework. It doesn't really, what they're looking to do is, if somebody does violate this, what is the recourse for it? I'll defer to you, Administrator.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I think we can just take the verbatim record here, the motion that was made, and we can add that to the end of the paragraph.
Okay.
That's where I think that would probably go.
All right. So with that, we have a motion by Commissioner Holland, second by Commissioner Shane, to approve the updates to the Commissioner Handbook with the addition of recourse for violation of said policy.
Mr. Chair, are we having a discussion on this?
Yes, there, I am just opening it up. Commissioner Dietrich, do you have
Yes, I
statements?
would like to say that the Commissioner Handbook hasn't been followed or consistent for the couple of years that I've been on the board. I will read the County Commissioner expense reimbursement. County Commissioner's expenses will be reimbursed in excess of the annual budget allocation without a budget amendment. No individual county commissioner expense will be reimbursed in excess of the annual budget allocation without a budget amendment. You just added to your commissioner expense in the previous motion on the agenda for a carry forward to up your
Mr. Chair, I
additional,
think
and
we're
I'm,
on-
no,
That's
not-
if we're going to,
you're on the wrong
to.
You're on
I'm-
Jermaine, you pulled that item.
No,
for the
I know that we're,
We're
but
talking
this
about
is
the
talking about the
policy.
policies. We don't, if we're not going to follow the policies, and it didn't get pulled because you didn't approve it, you didn't second it, and it didn't get approved for discussion.
It did get approved. It got approved 3-2. It's pulled on this consent agenda. It's on items for consideration, C2.
Okay.
So we will be getting to that item to discuss. Right now, we're discussing the addition to this policy that pertains to contracted services and how and when and who can contact them. And
I would like to
Per
clarify,
billable
I would
hours.
like to clarify maybe one piece of that. If you're at a convention and the person is presenting the information that we're allowed, and every commissioner there is allowed to discuss with the presenter the data that they're providing information on.
you by all means you can, as long as you're not
Right.
getting billable hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're that we're not preventing that.
Right.
We are just stating that if individual board members want to actually go out for outside counsel individually, what the rules are pertaining
If
to
you
that.
read that, though, it says you cannot talk to any of our counsel, official counsel, if you read through that.
I mean, they may or may not talk to you back. We are going to let them know our internal policies on this, just because it puts them in a very, very difficult position when they are offering a legal opinion, but the legal opinion is only from a narrow scope of one individual, not the entire board's perspective. So their outcome may be, their response may be jaded just because they didn't get all the information. So that's the reason we're trying to prevent them from being put into the crosshairs of the internal politics of a board.
Can you scroll down to this? Or can
Sorry,
can
sorry,
you scroll down to
Commissioner
this, Frank? Thank you. I meant in the packet.
Frank, I'm sure, yeah, page 189.
My computer is dying too, that's why I didn't bring it out myself.
Use the red right up above.
Thank you.
It states in there on the fourth line, all contact with outside legal counsel shall occur through the county administrator, county attorney, or designated staff. I just want to clarify that if we're at a presentation at a conference and we're having discussions, that doesn't preclude me from, or any other commissioner for having discussions.
So my interpretation, and I will defer to legal counsel or to our administrator on it, would be that it isn't an official communication unless we're billed for it. So therefore, you can have those conversations, but it wouldn't be anything of a legal record. It's just a casual conversation. We are really bounding ourselves as to if we are incurring a legal opinion and incurring a billable hours, then this would pertain.
Yeah, I would make that more clear in there.
So
Please.
I think it's, I don't know how you want to delineate that. I mean,
Can you just say all billable contact?
I guess because
It is
anything outside of that is just a casual conversation. When you talk about
It does say all contact.
conversation, so we can say all billable or whatever, or official, or however you want to word that. I'll defer to administration.
I agree.
Mr. Chair, adding the word billable or official would work. I would probably lean more towards official, inserting that if it's, the board wants to accept that motion.
Motion makers, Commissioner Holland, Commissioner Shane, are you all right with the
Friendly amendment.
friendly amendment?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yep.
All right, is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right. Commissioner Hambrick, updates are approved 4-1. All right. Next, we have the workshop recommendations. We have a number of recommendations from the workshop. First one was informational with the scheduling of meetings. We had the Historical Society, great presentation. They're doing great work there. That was informational only. We had the recycling grant program and the MOU, and then moving forward with researching a feasibility and desire of townships on refuse and recycling collection programs, and through a joint powers agreement, pardon me, hiccups. Then we also had the 2026 proposed budget schedule. This was largely informational, just to get in front of the commissioners on what their plan is from administration with the budget and the timeline. Then we had the informational only on the American Rescue Plant and general funds, and where of all the money has gone and where it is at. Sixth would be the review request to gain opinion from outside counsel, which stemmed the motion that we just did for the updated handbook. And then the other one was just a closed meeting that took place at 10:30 regarding property. All right.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendations.
Second.
All right, motion by Commissioner Holland, second by Commissioner Shane to approve the county board workshop recommendations. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, recommendations pass unanimously. Next, we have the approve one of the two recommendations from the Ways and Means Committee that took place on February 11th. So on February 11th, Ways and Means met. The first was to approve the letter of intent and authorized signatures on letter of intent on real property, and then the other one would be to move forward to a further discussion with that information as it comes
Yes,
forward.
Mr. Chair, yes. Presented to you from the Ways and Means Committee is the amended letter of intent for property located at 311 Brighton Avenue South in Buffalo. If the board has any discussion on it, staff would recommend going to closed session for that discussion. If not, I believe the matter is ready for approval. Or for, I should say, for consideration.
So
It's up to whether
right
the
now we're
board-
just looking to formalize that recommendation from the Ways and Means, which prior to that, we had a group holistic discussion on it, so it's kind of on the same pathway, so.
I just want to make sure that it is on the record that signing a letter of intent does that require the county to pay any money if we back out of the deal later on?
No.
Thank you.
Commissioner Moyna. Nope, this is simply a framework for drafting a purchase agreement.
All right. Then with that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Moyna, second by Commissioner Holland. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes unanimous. All right, now we have the consent agenda item C2, was the approve the list of restricted amounts required by law and authorize a standard carry forward for the 2024 budget. I know that myself was in there and I was carrying it forward because I had spent virtually almost none of my travel account last year. And with the possibility of some other legislative conferences and travel that may take place this year, may not, I carry forward it. If not, I will return it back and turn back dollars, which is a very possibility. And Commissioner Dietrich.
Sure. I just wanted to, I'm concerned about a carry forward when you haven't expensed what you do have currently. We were told clearly at the end of last year from the workshop that you fit your expenses into the allocated budget for the commissioners. In your own words at the workshop, you're setting the 2025 commissioner expense at $2,700 as of January 1st, but will actualize the overages from 2024 with a negative carry forward. Commissioners who went over their budgets in 2024 will have that amount removed from their expense allocations in 2025. Any money remaining in the commissioner's expense accounts at the end of December will be returned to the general fund. So essentially, you don't have funds in your account to move forward. And then if you look at the policy for the county commissioner expense reimbursement, it states that county commissioner expense will be reimbursed in excess of the annual budget allocation without it, no individual county commissioner expense will be reimbursed in excess of the annual budget allocation without a budget amendment. So, Mr. Chair, this isn't fitting with what we've approved in the workshop and what we've approved for our financial policy manual. So I'm asking that this carry forward does not get approved based on that information so that we're consistent with our practices. And it should be a budget amendment, not a carry forward, according to our Wright County Financial Policy Manual for county commissioner expense.
Would you like the wording changed? Should we change the wording?
I guess, to me, I think it's a split of the hairs, whether you mean,
You have to expend them first.
well,
before
the
you get
difference is a carry
reimbursed.
forward,
But you don't have funds in your account. It went to the general fund. It says at the end of the year, in the workshop, any money remaining in the commissioner expense accounts at the end of December will be returned to the general fund. That's what happened last year and the year before as well. If you had any expenses, it got put back into the general fund. It did not carry over. We have a set amount annually that we have approved. I would suggest if you're going to have, more expenses, then the amount should be increased. If we think of going to DC or different things for the lobbying purposes, which I'm not opposed to. Otherwise, just fit it into the amount that you allocated in December of $2,700. And if you go over and need a budget amendment to get reimbursed per our expense policy, then we do that.
Chairman Vetch, I think it's sad that we're to the point where we're pigeonholing everybody into an expense report, but that was because we had somebody like way over budget that we've never seen in the commissioner ranks before. So, And then last year, we did not realize that we need Commissioner Vetch to go to various lobbying efforts. And I don't feel, for the last 4 years, Commissioner Vetch has barely touched his account. I feel like now that we've had some things come up that we need him to go as our chair, I feel like I would entertain a motion to do an amendment, a budget amendment, so that we can move forward Derek's expense report so that he can, so we can send him to Washington. And then there'll be plenty of funds in there for that.
Yeah, Commissioner Holland, thank you. You know, it's I look at this. It's so weird because you know, in my 10 years of being on here, we've never ever had to individualize commissioner expense accounts. You know, because of individuals that have spent more than their share per se. We've actually had to go to individualized amounts, and because there was ebbs and flows, because you don't necessarily, some years you may have a lot of things that are in your district and a lot of things that you need to go to things, and the amount can ebb and flow, and hence the reason for a carry forward. And some years if you go over, we allow you to carry forward your negative into your next year and spend vice versa. And it's unbelievable how this has gotten to be as controversial as it has been. Like before, we had one line item that we shared amongst 5 commissioners, and we can't do that anymore. And now it's even gotten to the point where we're questioning how how we all spend it. I mean, I'm interested in almost wanting to have a presentation that shows you how the money I've spent every single dollar and every single commissioner over the last couple of years. Maybe we want to have that discussion. And because I'm fine with it, because I've literally, most of my travel, I spend and pay for all my fuel out of my own money, out of my own pocket. I don't use any county vehicles, never have driven a county vehicle, never intend to drive a county vehicle. So to me, it's about leveraging the money to get as much bang for the buck for the taxpayer as we possibly can. And with this likelihood, this is following the traditional pathway, whether staff may have misguided me in telling me to use it as a carry forward or a budget amendment, but to me, I think they're all one and the same. This process is no different than any other department head or commissioners, and it's within the handbook's parameters, in my opinion, to carry forward. It's just no different than a negative balance carry forward that you have, Commissioner Dietrich. I'm having a positive balance carry forward.
Mr. Chair, I think Jeannie made a motion, so I'll go ahead and second that.
Did you hear a motion? Was it? Oh,
So
that-
go
that-
ahead
I
and-
said, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I should have cleared the floor there if I missed that motion on that. I just thought that was a statement. So you have a motion by Commissioner Holland and second by Commissioner Shane, and the motion was to,
Amend it and move it forward.
yep.
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Holland, Commissioner Shane, is the motion to approve everything as presented on consent, or are you limiting it? Because these other items staff is looking to have approved. So I know we're talking about only one specific item in the carry forwards, but staff is looking for everything to be approved. And I don't want to make sure that the motion includes everything, if we can. It sounds like that's
all
the
the carry
direction the board is
forwards.
going, so I just want to confirm that.
Yes.
So you have a motion by Commissioner Holland, second by Commissioner Shane to approve the carry forwards as presented in the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, also confirming the second item there, which is to approve the authorization to designate fund balance in the special revenue debt service capital projects funds according to the county's fund balance policy and accounting standards. That was part 2 of that, item C2.
Discussion?
Yes, there's discussion.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to clarify that the funds that I had spent as a commissioner, I had requested as per your direction on the board as the chair, that we could request those funds to be covered by those commissioners and remaining funds in the joint commissioner expense account to cover those. And you guys went ahead and changed that policy to a carry forward at a meeting at the workshop in December that I was not attending and did not have input in. And so you changed that policy, and then moving forward, I just don't know where to stand. I don't know how to, you say this is difficult when you guys are the ones changing the rules.
I actually would like to have more discussion on this, maybe at a workshop, as far as the policy for that goes. I don't have it in front of me, but what does it say for how long you can carry forward? Just because I wouldn't, say I don't use anything for 4 years, I get to go on a heck of a lot of fun trips in my 4th year. So I just want to make sure that we kind of have more parameters about that, and maybe a set process of a time frame of when you need to request that. If you're planning in October that next year you're going to do, New Orleans and DC, that you're requesting to move funds forward and they need to be done by the end of the previous year. I just think there'd be some good discussion on those topics so that there were parameters around it. And like I said, so that in year 4, I don't have $10,000 that I get to go out and, spend doing whatever.
I would agree with that. I've really liked this kind of, this, like you say, the handbook and the parameters to it are, but I will go back. When I came on this board, there was no handbook, there was no policies. This has grown immensely as we realize situations. We've added in and adopted policies. I think this is a good discussion to clean that up and make it a better level of clarity to it, especially from a negative carry forward. Because I would say once you're elected term, you can't carry over into a next term. So any negative carry forwards would have to be reconciled before you can't carry into a negative balance. Same with the positive balance. We have to have an articulable that you can't carry that over from one election to another election as well. So there's pieces that right now I think we would assume would be inherently in practices, but I think we need to have it written in writing as well.
Mr. Chair, I think that's a really good idea because there was some, if you want to call it violations against things being approved and not approved and just showing up. So I think that would be a really good discussion because then you don't just get to show up and charge the taxpayers.
With that being said, not to delay it, but would it be possible to remove the carry forward for your balance? Because I imagine you're not going to use it in next week. So could we just put that on, I don't know what agenda would be, because I don't know when our next workshop isn't for 3
Next
weeks.
workshop is on March 11th. Commissioner Moyna.
So it wouldn't be until March 18th, I guess, agenda after we make those changes, but just to make sure that everything is in line with the policy that we're developing.
Absolutely. I have no problem with that. Like at the end of the day, I'm open to the discussion. I was looking forward to just having the options to work with members of the board and help drive the desires of the county. And if they
And I think this is a great conversation starter, so.
And like I said, I am, if that is not it, like I said, I am generally okay with using my own money to do what I need to do the job, so it doesn't bother me by any stretch, but pointed out by other individuals that I should try to use a more similar practice, so.
Mr. Chair, I
other
wholeheartedly
members?
agree with that, and I think that you have been using your own funds and your own vehicle long enough. I think the work that you do is very, very important, and we need you to be able to show up and show interest and be there for our constituents here in Wright County.
So would you like the motion to, because we still have some carry forward,
We,
right?
staff would like to approve the other items on the list. Yes, please.
So should we do it?
The second item.
All of
just-
the, well,
you amend-
There's two that we're taking off, so it's just the
Yeah.
second one of the two.
well, you have the
that
carry forward. Staff would like to get the carry forwards. You can remove one of those carry forwards, which is the one we're talking about from that list for consideration later. But we would like to move forward with the other items. And then number 2, part 2, yes, we are looking to approve that as well.
Or could we keep them, can we keep the amendment?
We can make the vote.
We can keep it just for this year? Can we do this carry forward for this one time only?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Holland, the carry forwards are done annually, on an annual basis, and approved by the board annually. So if you were to do this again next year with another carry forward, it would come to the board again, and the board would be able to review and see it at that point in time. These only go forward for 1 year at a time.
So, Mr. Chair, there is a motion on the table. There was second. We can
yeah.
at least, we can run that through. If it doesn't work, then we'll go from there.
I mean, either way, we have to have the discussion about
Yep.
how we're gonna deal with
How
this
we're gonna deal
policy
with the
going
policy.
forward. So right now, the motion is to approve the C2 in verbatim what's being requested for the carry forwards. Are you amending it, Commissioner Holland,
Let's
Commissioner
just
Shane?
leave it the way it is.
And then we'll schedule a committee of the whole to
yes.
discuss at a later date?
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
Or,
the item for discussion, if the board doesn't want to move that right now, we'll add that to the agenda for consideration on March 4th, setting the agenda for March 11th, the workshop. That's usually how we do it. But staff will make that notation
so,
unless the board wants to make a motion now, but we always set the agenda on March 4th.
all right. So right now, I guess the motion is by Commissioner Holland is to approve C2 as presented with the stated carry forwards and fund balance and special revenue, debt service, and capital projects according to the county's fund balance policy. Is there any other discussion? No amendments to the motion? All right.
I'll amend to take that one item off of yours.
The motion
so
maker
that
would
we
have
can-
to adopt the,
Sure. Well, what Commissioner Moyna had said, was just take that one off, your carry forward, and then we can address that at the workshop.
that's at the
Vote on
motion
this.
maker and seconds piece, so.
Let's vote on this one. And
All
then
right,
if
so
it
right now
doesn't
there's
go-
no other discussion? All right, motion by Commissioner Holland, second by Commissioner Shane to adopt C2 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right.
All right, motion passes 3-2. With that, we end today's agenda as there's no other business to attain to at 9:37.